What a gwan, peeps, what a gwan. It's Valerie's Naturals Oracles. And, you know, if you've been keeping up with me, people, you know that I've started this series about tarot interpretation. And last week I did the Fool. I actually did leaflets, which is free of charge on my Patreon for all Patreon members, and you don't even have to pay anything to get those ones. But I did do an extended, which it goes into health, it goes into how each card relates to different parts of your life, like work, like health, like love, like family and finance, and so on. The first one that is free is actually, you know, it's just got a general explanation. But the extended, which is to my patrons only, they get the full works, including reversals, how you read cards in the reversals as well. So it's worth joining even for that, because that's a lot of information. But yes, we're here to discuss this magician today. And look here now. If you look at this card, most cards these days, although there's different systems of cards, there's, I know of the Throff Tarot, I know of, I think it's Lascamo. There's different systems, but this is going to be concentrated on the Rider-Waite. And this is the one everybody knows and loves, as above, so below. Do you see this magician? I'm going to give you my explanation first of all, a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit of my explanation, and I'm going to show you different cards in the same Rider-Waite, but the way they're pictured is different. And then I'm going to give you what the book version is. I'm going to read you an extract about the general information about this, because it will help you. And then if you want to explore further, go along to my leaflets or do your research on the internet, because that's what I did to actually create the leaflets. So anyway, this is the magician. Do you see him pointing upwards and downwards? One hand is going up, one hand is going down. As above, so below. And do you see that he's got all the 4 elements on the table? He's got the pentacles, he's got the cup, he's got the sword, and he's got the wand. That is because the magician, to me, is somebody that can manifest whatever they want, because they have all the 4 elements to hand. This is a good card. In the reverse, I can tell you some stories, but in the upright, this is a good story. This is a good card. It's about your manifestations or people trying to manifest you in. Do you know what I mean? In reverse, though, it could even be like somebody who's manipulative, who's doing all sorts of darkness in the background. And magicians are that. They're magicians. They're miracle workers, whether it's positive or negative. So this is the way you have to think of it. Now, I got a couple of my decks out just to show you how different. This is the one we're all used to. But just to show you how different the magician can look, I've got out the Angel Wisdom Tarot. I love this deck, and it tells you exactly what the magician is. But do you see the difference in the pictures from this to this? Look, magic is alive in your life. What you need to be a successful manifest, if you believe it, you can do it. But you do notice that this guy is still pointing up and he's still pointing down. Do you see that? It's just depicted in a different way. This is done in a more angelic way, don't you think? Very tame and majestic. Whereas this one, it's like, do you see that person's face? It's like they're concentrating. They've got the infinity symbol above them. Do you know what I mean? Manifestation. But I got one more card out, which is a more recent one for me. And it's called the Tarot of Mystical Moments. And this is the magician in this card. Do you see this person is still pointing up, but they're being held up from below? That's symbolic of the, as I said, as above, so below. The magician is pointing up, but they're being held up from below. Do you understand? Do you see the I can't talk. The symbolicity of this. Do you see the symbol of this? And the butterfly is there. I mean, this one doesn't depict all the 4 elements, nor does this one, I don't think. No, it doesn't. But we know the magician has the 4 elements, and they can command and do what they want because they are miracle workers. So what I'm going to do here is, and you could, I mean, the magician could be different again. I mean, I've got another deck over here. Oh, let me show you this one. This is the one I wanted to show you. I've got out the Twin Tarot Oracle. And they do the positive and negative of each major arcana, and there's nothing but major arcanas in here. And I remember taking out the Magician. This is the Magician in the good sense in this deck, but this is the Magician in reverse, basically. Do you see the difference? This person is in reversal. They're doing darkness. I call it dark magic, darkness. They're manipulative. They're using their power for bad and not good. And this is what this card is all about. But I'm going to read you the general message about the general interpretation in reference to this lovely Magician. And it goes like this. In the upright, and these are the short versions of it, it's manifestation, resourcefulness, power, inspired action. But in reverse, it's manipulation, poor planning, untapped talents. So I'm going to read the general description of the Magician, and it says the Magician card is number 1, the number of new beginnings and opportunities, and associates with the planet of Mercury. He stands with one arm stretched upwards towards the universe and the other pointing down to the earth. His positioning represents his connection between the spiritual realms and the material realms. The Magician uses this relationship to create and manifest his goals in a physical realm. He is the conduit that converts energy into matter. The Magician's robe is white, symbolizing purity, and his cloak is red, representing a worldly experience and knowledge. On the table in front of him are the 4 symbols of the tarot suits: a cup, pentacles, swords, and wand, each symbolizing one of the 4 elements: water, earth, air, and fire. It is also a sign that he has all the tools and elements he needs to manifest his intentions into being. Above his head is the infinity symbol, and around his waist is a snake biting its own tail, both of which signals that he has access to unlimited potential. And in the foreground is an array of foliage and flowers, symbolizing the blossoming and fruition of his ideas and aspirations. Okay, so that is the general description. I'm going to give you the upright version as in general for this card, but the reversals I'm going to put on the leaflet and everything else because there's just too much here. So there's a lot of reading here. But it says the upright Magician. As a master manifester, the Magician brings into the tools, resources, and energy you need to make your dreams come true. Seriously, everything you need right now is at your fingertips. You have the spiritual fire, physical earth, mental air, and emotional water resources to manifest your desires. And when you combine these with the energy of the spiritual and earthly realms, you will be a manifestation powerhouse. The key is to bring these tools together symbolically so that the impact of what you create is greater than the separate parts. This is alchemy at its best. Now is the perfect time to move forward on an idea that you've recently received. The seed of a potential has sprouted and you are being called to take action and bring the intention to fruition. The skills, knowledge and capabilities you have gathered along your life path has led you to where you are now, whether or not you know it, and you are ready to turn your ideas into reality. I could keep going. There is a lot more, but if you want the rest of it, you need to download the leaflet. Go to my Patreon. It's going to be free of charge. Once this uploads, it will all be there, and the extended will be there, but the extended will be there for patrons only. I've actually made it into an even little journey, and the full card is already there. I've made it into a little journal that you can actually write your own experiences about the card and how you feel about it and all sorts of nonsense. And of course, the extended gets far more. So, if you enjoyed this, let me know if you want more of these, because next week is the card number 2, and what is it? We shall find out. Take care, people.